The urgent truth behind toddler aggression. Expert insights and solutions you can't ignore. Hello, dear parents. Today, I want to talk to you about something very close to our hearts. Something real and deeply emotional. Aggressive behavior in toddlers. I know many of us have felt confused, even heartbroken, when we see our little ones hitting others, pushing friends, or acting out in ways that seem aggressive. But before you blame your child or start feeling guilty, let's take a step back and explore this together. I'm here to share insights from top parenting experts, and my hope is that this will bring you understanding, comfort, and practical solutions to guide your child through this phase with love. First, let's acknowledge something important. Aggression in toddlers isn't abnormal. It's a natural part of their development. The main reasons behind it? Toddlers often lack the language skills to express their feelings, struggle to control their impulses, and are eager to assert their independence. Sometimes, they might even mimic behaviors they've seen from us, parents, or from what they're exposed to on social media. But here's the good news I want to emphasize. No matter the reason, there are ways we can help our children navigate this. Let's dive deeper into these reasons and solutions together. Toddlers are exploring their bodies and the world around them. Have you ever wondered why your toddler swings their hands at others or throws things? Picture this. Your child is curiously exploring their own body, testing what happens when they swing their arm, or what changes if they hit harder. This is how they learn about the world. For toddlers, everything is new, and aggressive behavior is sometimes just a part of that exploration. They don't yet understand that their actions can hurt others, but they do notice it gets attention, whether positive or negative. It touches my heart to see how much they're learning every day, even if it's in imperfect ways. Whether they continue these behaviors, though, depends on how we respond and the environment they're in. Toddlers lack self-control. Imagine being an 18-month-old for a moment. At this age, your child is starting to walk, talk, and interact with a bigger world. They're meeting siblings, friends, and strangers at the park, all while their brain is teaching them to express their personality and develop complex skills. But here's the thing. An 18-month-old doesn't understand self-control. They don't realize they can't always do whatever they want. When they're angry or frustrated, they act on instinct, and that might mean hitting or pushing. It can feel overwhelming for us as parents. But I want you to know this is normal. These behaviors often peak around age 2 and gradually decrease over the next few years. Fun fact. The parts of the brain responsible for self-control don't fully mature until the teenage years. So, let's be patient with them. They're doing their best with what they've got. Toddlers lack social and language skills. I once watched a group of toddlers playing together. One child couldn't say they wanted a toy, so they pushed their friend instead. This is so common at this age. Toddlers haven't yet mastered the language skills to express their emotions or navigate social situations that make them uncomfortable. Naturally, they express themselves through actions, and sometimes those actions are aggressive. They don't yet understand social norms or rules like adults do, so they repeat these behaviors without hesitation. But don't worry too much, these skills will develop over time. We can help by patiently guiding them, teaching them step by step how to communicate and interact better. Toddlers lack empathy and perspective. Have you noticed how toddlers around 2.5 years old seem very focused on themselves? At this age, they can't yet see beyond their own needs and feelings. They don't realize that hitting someone causes pain or sadness. To them, friends might feel like objects to deal with when they're upset. I've seen a child push a friend down and then feel sad when the friend cried. But they didn't understand why the friend was upset. It's a bittersweet realization, but it reminds us that empathy takes time to grow. We can support them by explaining the consequences of their actions and helping them learn to care about others' feelings. Toddlers are coping with changes. As toddlers grow, Their world expands beyond the family. They start meeting friends at the playground or in class. And these new relationships can feel overwhelming. They don't yet know how to adapt. And when they can't control things the way they want, aggression can become their instinctual response. For example, they might hit a friend to get a toy or push a sibling who's in their way. I find this so relatable. Our little ones are learning to handle new situations every day. Sometimes, they're even experimenting, wondering what will happen if they hit someone. This is all part of their growth. And we can help by creating a safe, supportive space where they feel understood. Toddlers are testing boundaries. Are you a parent who spends most of your time with your child? If so, you might be the main target of their aggressive behaviors. But here's something uplifting. This can actually be a positive sign. Experts say that toddlers often show their truest emotions around parents because they feel safe with us. They know that no matter what, we'll still love and accept them. At this stage, their brains are rapidly developing. And they're starting to understand relationships and how far they can push things. I find this so precious. It shows how much they trust us. But it also means we need to set clear boundaries so they learn what's acceptable. Toddlers are hungry, tired, or unwell. Aggression isn't always about internal factors. Sometimes it's triggered by everyday things we can control. When a toddler is hungry, they can't say, "Mom, I'm hungry." Instead, they might get cranky and lash out. Lack of sleep makes even adults irritable. So imagine how it affects a toddler. If they're feeling unwell or ignored, they might act out to get our attention. This is a gentle reminder that sometimes the solution isn't discipline. It's making sure our child is fed, rested, and feels loved and cared for. Toddlers imitate caregivers. Here's a truth that might surprise us. Our children learn so much from us. Research shows that toddlers exposed to family violence or physical punishment, like spanking, are more likely to become aggressive. I once heard about a little boy who was often spanked by his parents, and later, he started hitting his friends. It's a sobering thought, because it reminds us that we're not just teachers, but role models. If we want our children to be gentle, we need to start with how we behave toward them. Toddlers are influenced by violent content online. In today's digital age, our children are exposed to TV, phones, and the internet more than ever. Shows with shouting, pushing, or fighting can influence their behavior. Studies have found that toddlers who play violent video games are more likely to become aggressive than those who play gentler games. It's a wake-up call for us to pay attention to what our kids are watching and playing. Let's create a positive environment where they're exposed to kindness and creativity, not violence from the digital world. How can we address toddler aggression? Now that we understand the reasons, how can we help our children through this phase? I believe that with love and patience, we can make a difference. Here are some heartfelt, practical steps I want to share with you. Stop the behavior calmly and firmly. When you see your child hitting, pushing, or acting aggressively, step in right away, but do it calmly and firmly. I know it's hard to stay calm when we're stressed, but yelling or losing control can scare them and teach them nothing. Gently stop them. Explain that the behavior isn't okay. And if needed, address any unfairness in the situation to make them feel heard. Be consistent, even if you have to repeat this many times. Your steady approach will show them that aggression isn't acceptable. Connect their behavior to the victim's feelings. Since toddlers don't yet understand how their actions hurt others, help them see it. For example, if they hit a friend, you might say, "Look, your friend is crying because that hurt. Do you want your friend to be sad?" This gentle explanation can help them develop empathy over time. I believe that with patience, they'll learn to care about others' feelings. Avoid conflict triggers. If your child often acts out during playdates or with siblings, observe what sets them off. It might be a specific toy or a time of day. like mealtime or TV time. Try removing triggers or teaching siblings how to handle conflicts safely. Most importantly, avoid using physical punishment. Instead, show them the consequences of their actions. For example, if you hit your friend, we'll have to stop playing and go home. This helps them learn self-control in a loving way. Set an example. We're our children's biggest role models. If we don't want them to be aggressive, we should avoid using physical punishment. Instead, use words and gestures to express yourself. For example, if they misbehave, say, "I don't like it when you hit. Let's talk about it instead." They'll learn from how you handle situations. I've seen families transform just by changing how they communicate. And it's truly inspiring. Educate yourself. If your child's aggression feels excessive, take a moment to reflect on your parenting approach. You might explore nonviolent discipline methods through books, classes, or advice from friends, family, teachers, or child psychologists. I believe that the more we learn, the more confident we'll feel in guiding our children. Help them burn off energy. Toddlers have so much energy, and if it's pent up, they can become tense and aggressive. Encourage outdoor play, running, or physical activities to help them release that energy. Just make sure they're not hungry, tired, or unwell, as these can worsen behaviors. I've noticed that the happiest, calmest moments often come when kids get to play freely. Manage screen time. In our digital world, it's easy for kids to spend too much time in front of screens. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends limiting screen time and focusing on real-life play, conversation, and exploration instead. I think this is such valuable advice. Try cutting back on TV or phone time and encouraging outdoor activities or family bonding. You'll likely see a positive shift in their behavior. Keep an eye on their behavior. If aggression persists as your child grows, watch for unusual signs. Are they sensitive to lights, sounds, or struggling with communication? While these behaviors often decrease over time, if they're frequent and interfere with their ability to connect with others, consider consulting a child psychologist. I know this can feel daunting, but early support can make a big difference for their future. Conclusion: walking with your child through love and patience. Dear parents, toddler aggression can leave us exhausted and unsure. But I want you to hold on to this. It's just a phase. And with love and patience, we can help our children through it. Avoid overreacting with yelling or spanking. It only teaches them that aggression solves problems. Instead, be consistent in your approach. Set clear boundaries, and show them you're there to support them. Toddlers are smart. They'll soon learn what's right and wrong. I hope these insights bring you understanding, empathy, and practical tools to support your child. With our love as parents, no challenge is too big to overcome. Wishing you and your little ones happiness and peace always.